Welcome to episode 41, Annecam Sailing Australia. This episode we take you a little bit further up the coast of New South Wales. Here are the previews. Here is the video. We navigate our way past Boondelba, Little and Cabbage Tree Islands as we leave Port Stephens and start heading north once again. It was a dirty day on the water, lots of rain. We stopped for the night in Cape Hawke Harbour between Tuncurry and Foster. The very next morning we left right at the top of the tide on slack water and headed for Port Macquarie. We sail past Tacking Point, Transit Hill and Nobby Head as we approach the Leads to enter Port Macquarie. We were lucky enough to pick up a public mooring for the first night. From then on, we anchored.
Ooh, markets. Shopping.
It's always good to sit back and take in the sights and the sounds of what's around us here on the Hastings River in Port Macquarie after a big morning out shopping with Annie. It's not every day you have an aircraft taxi past you while you're out in the moorings on a yacht. But up here, it's no different than what it was in Rose Bay, Sydney Harbour, where we had a lot of seaplanes coming and going all day long. We watched the seaplane take off upriver between three catamarans that sailed up here with us from Port Stephens. Sea Window, Exhale, and Somewhere are the names of the three catamarans. It's not every day that one gets to do 3 to 4 knots while sitting on a mooring. This is what happens when we get a run-out tide here in the Hastings River at Port Macquarie. The seaplane comes back in to make a touchdown in the river again. We even get a wave from the pilot as she navigates around through a couple of other boats, one of the busy times on the river. Another beautiful sunrise, this time on the river. Don't you just love this time of the day? I know us on Annecam, we love it. Take a look at these angry clouds at this time of the day. This is the reason why we're sitting it out here in Port Macquarie. Don't you just love unplanned boat jobs? This time our Clue parted company with our mainsail on the last passage, and it's time to do a little tidy up and make it a bit stronger. Job complete, and this time a lot stronger than the original one. It was time to jump in our dinghy and go and explore what was upstream in this river. Yes, you did hear right. We had to dodge the swimmers out in the river. Past all the beautiful river frontaged homes. And into the canals, past more beautiful homes, just like Mandurah in Western Australia. Annie checks the water ahead for any hazards as we approach a sandbar, somewhere to beach our dinghy to go shopping. Yes, you did hear right. The question was asked, what did my last slave die of? We always padlock our dinghy up, this time to a tree.
Yay, here we are at Settlement City. Big W, Woolies, Reject Shop. Yeah.
Yes, we do have our own washing machine on board Annecam, and we can quite quickly turn our cockpit into an entire clothesline, like a Chinese laundry. We said see you later to Port Macquarie and set our course for Coffs Harbour. It was a beautiful day out on the water, made even better when this lone dolphin showed up to play on our bow. We knew the day was going to even get better when a second dolphin showed up to share the joy. The dolphin show went on for what seemed like hours as we slipped past Trial Bay and Smoky Cape. It was slow going. We had between 3 and 4 knots of current against us, and the sun slipped below the horizon before we got into Coffs Harbour. Thanks to this great bloke on this catamaran moored behind us called Knee Deep, he was able to shine his torch on a mooring that we were able to pick up for the night. And this is what we awoke to the next morning. We slipped our mooring early and headed off towards Annecam. Once again, darkness fell before we made it to the bar crossing into the Clarence River at Annecam. After 2 very peaceful nights anchored at Annecam, we decided it was time to head upriver to explore what was up the Clarence. We anchored just short of the Harwood Bridge, waiting for it to open the next morning so we could continue on up to Maclean. Early the next morning, we lifted our anchor and pulled Annecam out into the river and waited for the bridge to open. Up goes the bridge. They asked us what our air draft was. They lifted the bridge up to give us 1 extra metre of clearance. The operators give us the green light to go ahead as Annie watches for our clearance to make sure that we have it all right. We have lost count the number of bridges we have taken Annecam under, and every time it's a unique experience, and you're always watching out to make sure that we do have enough clearance to get through. After going through the Harwood Bridge, which is part of the Pacific Highway between Sydney and Brisbane, we continue upriver to the Scottish heritage town of Maclean, and we explore the local cafes, galleries, pubs and museums. There is an overnight pontoon available over on the town, but we chose to anchor over on the far side of the river, away from the rocks. We are amazed by some of the people we meet on this journey. And we met this couple down in Aluka in the anchorage at Christmas time on a beautiful catamaran called Seahawk, Laura and Steve. Laura came to pick us up, to take us up to Ashby Heights to show us her beautiful home and the magnificent view she had out over the Broadwater. Steve is back downriver at Yamba, would you believe it, getting the boat ready for the upcoming cruising season. As I said earlier, Maclean is a Scottish heritage town, and just a short stroll around this place, you find that all of the locals are so proud of their heritage. We loved our time here in Maclean. Just strolling around this town, we discovered that most of the power poles were decorated with the tartans of the clans. The Macleans of Duart, Mackay, Ancient, the Campbells of Argyll, Abercrombie, McIntyre, Macintosh, Drummond of Perth, the MacLeods, the McQueens, The McPhersons. We could have spent hours showing you the tartans of the clans around this town, but it was time to stop and check out the real estate. We even found a second-hand dealer with a very well-known name. We loved our time up in the Clarence River. We loved that Scottish heritage town of Maclean, but it was time to head back down. The morning we went back through the bridge, we almost required a white cane and a Labrador, as the fog was a real pea super. We made it back down to the beautiful anchorage in Annecam. This is the third time we have been tucked away in this beautiful little spot. Love this place.